In Where Are All the Boys, a post on the Jewish Women's Archive blog, Jewesses with Attitude, author and former Rising Voices fellow Eden Marcus describes reactions to her all-female United Synagogue Youth chapter board. Nope, Marcus wants to respond, just us girls. I am the president and all the vice presidents are girls as well. And guess what? We're doing great. Her mother asks her, do you think they would have noticed if your board was all boys? My answer is simple. Yes. Everyone notices when the board is all boys. Articles and books about why there aren't more women in STEM or more female CEOs are a dime a dozen. Yet no one looks around at the growing number of female boards in USY and asks, what's driving boys away from religion? It's not as though this is solely a youth group problem. It's simple. Toxic masculinity drives men away from community. Toxic masculinity forces men to be strong and unemotional, leading to negative effects for men. For example, men and women tend to react differently to the loss of a spouse, because married men get most of their emotional support from their wives, where married women get most of their emotional support from the community. Across the board, this lack of emotional support translates into different issues for men, the most apparent being suicide rates 4 times that of women. As soon as anyone tries to say that feminism is about women's rights alone, someone pops up and points out that it's a movement about equality. But if the person then turns around and says that men are inherently sexist or men cannot be the victims of sexism, they contradict themselves. Sexism towards men is real. It's a parent telling their son, big boys don't cry. It's a boy feeling unable to ask for help because he's afraid of being perceived as weak. It's widowers with no support networks because they shouldn't need anybody. We can't keep acting like the patriarchy doesn't affect men. It does, and it's called toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity forces men to be unemotional and unattached, to be strong. Books like Lean In encourage women to embrace the aggressive tactics of their male peers. But there's no lean back. No one's encouraging men to embrace their female counterparts' more compassionate tactics. For all that we do to try and free women and girls from the restrictions placed upon them, we frequently ignore the limitations placed on men and boys by their assigned gender roles. We should not be celebrating toxic masculinity.